KZMB All Zombie Radio.
Hey, maybe it definitely lagged out on my end, but welcome to another episode of Finding Found, a show in which we find, or maybe don't, I don't know. What do we even do anymore? Who cares? Things from episodes of NBC's hit television series Found, which airs Thursday night at God knows when. It's long. It's long and it's late, and I'm tired. All right. There's Dave. Hey, Dave. Anyway, we're late. Because my computer was off and left the house for the first time in like 7 days. So, you know, I wasn't really ready to come home. I got a drink from Sonic. I got my hair cut by a woman who kept chastising me for not cutting my hair more frequently, which is not a thrilling experience, but it's all right. Because I didn't pay that much for it, which you can tell if you look at it because it's not great. Uh, I should have just paid for the salon experience and gotten what I actually wanted instead of just paying $20 for some lady to yell at me. Anyway, um, so first things first, I found this while I was cleaning because I haven't done a lot on my medical leave, and I'll explain as to why I was on a medical leave in a minute. But I haven't done a lot. It's been a lot of feeling sorry for myself and laying around. But I did finally go through a bag that my mother brought me like probably a year ago. Not quite, but close enough. And then also a box that has been um, in the living room for probably 6 months. Anyway, I found something to here that I thought you would enjoy. My brother got this for me. Some gifts. My mom went and visited him in China, and so some gifts came back with her.
Mm.
Wait, hold on.
Oh my god.
It's a replica.
Oh my god.
It's definitely a replica of the book. I mean, obviously it's not as thick as the actual book because they don't show every page, you know? But
Hmm.
let me see if I can find can I find Cole's page? Is the question.
I mean, they have to put that one in there.
I feel like it's in here. I looked through it. Balthazar. There you go.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So I thought you would enjoy that, and I'm glad Dave is here for it. My favorite part of this gift, because I do love that my brother got me this. My brother like reached into the recesses of his mind for my gifts because he got me this, which is like, I haven't watched Charm since I haven't actively watched Charm in many years. But I did live with him at like the height of my watching Charm. He also gave me two Escaflowne CDs, which is like an anime that him and I really enjoyed. Um, many, many, many years ago. But anyway, my favorite part of this gift is the fact that this was meant to be personalized. And I know, Dave, people will live. They'll be fine. It says first last name because he did not personalize it. So that was probably my favorite touch of the whole thing. I love that. Um okay, so anyway, I've been on a medical leave from work since Monday. I did try to go to work on Monday. I couldn't handle it. So I left. I was not going to announce this news to any of you anytime soon. But I was pregnant and unfortunately have lost the baby. And so that's what I've been doing all week is feeling really, really crappy about myself and watching The Walking Dead like a lot. And also watching all of White Lotus. Literally every episode that's out, I've watched in a
Do you
very
know?
short period of time, which is kind of alarming. Probably
Do you
not
know
super
that
great.
I'm obsessed with Theo James?
Huh?
Do you know I'm obsessed with Theo James?
Who is Theo James?
Season 2 of White Lotus.
Which one?
Divergent.
Girl, you got to give me the name of the character on White Lotus. I can't. I didn't watch any of that.
I don't remember. Even though I only
Maybe
watch.
Dave can clarify. Dave has watched White Lotus. Maybe he knows who Theo James is.
I'm Googling it.
Okay. It's like, was it the skinny kid? Cameron. Oh, I'm shocked actually by that. He was in Divergent?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch those.
What is happening?
I don't know, girl. I was the sleazy guy. I love that. Yeah, I would have known immediately who that meant. I also didn't watch the Hunger Games when they came out and refused to read them. I'm sorry. I'm a recovering hipster. And so I hated anything that people said was good.
I mean, I did that too, but
yeah. And people really said that stuff was good. And so I was like, no, it's not. But then once I found out Lenny Kravitz was in it, then I did watch it. But see, this is the thing. I was still a hipster. So I watched it years after when it was no longer cool. Ironically, because Lenny Kravitz was in it. That's a weird reason to watch the Hunger Games. But that's why. And I did like it. Unironically. I like Lenny Kravitz, ironically. But unironically, I liked the Hunger Games movies. But anyway, I was just like out of that whole era of that YA action, like dystopian action movies, which seems very much like it would be my vibe at the time. But I wasn't watching it. You know what I was watching? The Walking Dead. So I was definitely watching The Walking Dead then. And even though people said that was cool, I didn't care. Lenny Kravitz is a crazy way to enter this chat. Hi, Durga. Basic hipster, read your Twilights. I also have never watched Twilight. This is the thing. That was when I was at my peak, the apex peak of my hipster hood. I don't know. I was like, I was too cool for everything. You know? All I was doing was drinking craft beers at a bar where they were too expensive, or ciders, because I don't know if you remember this, but ciders had a very hot moment back then. Or Pabst Blue Ribbon, because let's be real, I was also broke. And so I did drink the hell out of some PBR. Okay, so anyway, so I am currently recuperating from that. I'd like to say that I'm fine, and I'm probably coming across as fine, but I'm probably not. So if I go into like a weird state of catatonia at any point during this, ignore it. It's fine. I'm just like disassociating. Because that is Durga. Why do you have a Lenny Kravitz story that is not safe for work? How is that possible? Did you meet Lenny Kravitz? Is it like Lenny's not safe for work? I need to know more about this. Okay, anyway. To the meat of this. Oh, yeah, there's also other stuff happening. There was also a death in my husband's family, unfortunately. There's like a lot going on over here. And my air conditioning is out. So I'm going to be really sweaty, maybe disassociating. It's okay. It'll be fine. Takira will get us through because she's back, baby. She's back. She's finally here. I was looking back. I was like, I've done a lot of episodes by myself. You used to work for Afropunk? Durga, you You have wild lore. Like, I need to know more about you. I need to know more about you. I don't know what's happening. Why do you have a podcast? You should have a podcast. Do you have I would watch that. You know what though? But like everyone has a podcast now, so if you don't have one already, don't start now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dura. You are giving dad jokes. Dave. It's classic Dave though. It's not that unusual actually.
Just to explain why Bridget has had to do episodes without me.
Oh yeah, have at it, girl. Have the
Uh,
floor.
I've also had a lot going on over here.
Mm.
A 10-year friendship should be something that you feel secure in, and that I don't know, if a person that you've been in a 10-year friendship with says you can trust them, you should be able to trust them. Well, unfortunately, that is false. I have had to completely cut ties with someone who I've had more than a 10-year friendship with, who's been there for the birth of my children, who's been to hell and back with me. They were actively trying to make me homeless, actively trying to get me fired from my job. Just, and I have 2 children. I have 4 children, but 2 are grown enough that they didn't have to worry about being illegally locked out of our home with it being about 12 degrees outside, being a 6 and a 9-year old. So we've had to go through things like that, and we had to live in hotels for a month, and we wasted $3,000 doing that, probably more than $3,000. So
But
it's
are you
been,
like set up now at a place? Because this is like Funko Pops are out
yeah.
behind you. Are you like fully in now? You're fully in
Yeah.
somewhere. This is great. That's good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was like, you have like a whole set behind you though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Dave. WT actual F.
So yeah. Um, and that person works at my job. So
Oh God, Kira, that's so awkward. But
yeah.
the most important. Oh, okay. Okay. Durga has this is not my thing, but maybe it's yours. So I'm going to read it. Kira, do you know where Pluto transmitted in your natal chart? If you believe in those things, check for the 4th, 7th, or 12th house. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know. Are you into astrology? I'm always worried I'm going to
1,000,
say the wrong one. It's astrology.
1,000%. I'm into astrology and astronomy, so it's
Okay.
fine no matter which one you say.
I'm always like, don't say the wrong one. Don't say the wrong one. I know, Dave. I know. We all knew, like, those who are like friends with Takira knew a little bit about what was going on, but not a ton. And anyway, no one here did because I didn't share it. I just had said that you had stuff going on in your personal life, and I just kind of left it at that. Because it's not for me to tell. So yeah. So most important thing is you're safe and your kids are safe, which was really the thing that I was most worried about. And so I'm glad that you got away from this person. Hi, India. We're happy you're here too.
I
And
cried
also,
every day
Durga,
for
I
a
didn't
cup of
say
tea.
anything. Durga is starting a YouTube channel, and I'm sorry, it was the Intellectual Industrial Complex. It sounds awesome. And do tell us when you have it up, because while my channel has nothing, my channel has this. This is what my channel has. Squawking Dead has way more viewers and listeners because they're like an actual podcast. Anyway, I'm part of that. I'm on that. And Squawking Dead will promote your stuff if you want, because I think that would be so cool. Okay. Kira Durga says, I'm a master astrologer girl. I've been studying to 10 plus years if you need anything. Yeah, we'd love to promote whatever you got going on. Dave says, I love you gals. Going to watch a depressing / uplifting Korean drama when life gives you tangerines before I grind. Just wanted
I
to support
love
you both.
K-drama.
It is not my thing, although I will admit to getting sucked into one when I was getting a pedicure the last time I was at like a pedicure place because they had like K-dramas playing. It was like a K-drama channel. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I was living for it. It was a very dramatic, like over the top. Like they were dating, but they were pretending not to date in front of her brother. I don't know. It was like her brother's best friend or something. It was weird. It was weird. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm into it. India says, I haven't watched the episode yet, but I was right about Heather Lean. Girl.
Oh,
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth right now because I have so much to say about that. Okay. India says, Kira, I'm glad you're doing okay. Durga really liked When Life Gives You Tangerines. And India also loves K-dramas. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Who knew? Is K-dramas where I need to be? Like, I need to be watching K-dramas and covering them? I'm stuck, Durga. I'm stuck. Okay, bye, Dave. Thank you for being here.
Bye,
Have
Dave.
fun.
Love
Have fun
you,
with the
baby.
drama.
Also, I am Virgo Sun, Scorpio Moon, Aquarius Rising.
None of that means anything to me, but
Yeah.
it means something to Durga.
Mm-hmm.
It does mean something to Durga. So, okay, I didn't get anything pulled up because, like I said, we were running a little bit late because of my being berated by a woman about my hair. So give me a moment while I get all my stuff pulled up. So
Now,
we
while
can
she's
talk about
getting all
this.
her stuff pulled up, I'm just going to say, like, we are back. I feel like this episode had me so locked in.
See, okay, I felt like the episode previous was really good. Now you weren't here for the coverage, but it was really good, and we actually all agreed that was like one of the stronger ones this season.
I really enjoyed that episode.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
I guess maybe because we had some like reveals and like I love it when Heavy Boots and Sir go at it.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was like the subplot wasn't bad. Like it was all okay. What the heck is going on here?
Yeah, I was interested in the subplot this time, which I haven't been for a bunch of these episodes this season.
That is fair. Why is it? Oh, see, one time, Dave had me switch the size of my font while we were live. And now I can't get it back to regular size. Hold on. Yikes. I'm like, I can't even see anything and it won't let me scroll left to right. And I wish that I was on my MacBook right now. Like, honestly.
Also, I want to go back to something that I said probably a month or more ago about Margaret. I said that if certain things played out a certain way, I would be really pissed at Margaret. And so I'm starting to get really pissed at Margaret.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me more. Why?
She's not like every time we see more about the past and how everything played out, I get angrier and angrier at her not telling her husband that Jamie's back if that's him, and it's seeming like they want it to be him.
For real. That is irritating me. That is irritating me a lot. All right. Hold on. We got one thing. I got it back. I got it back to the regular size here, folks. So hold on 1 second. What episode is this? 17? That can't be right. Was 17. Okay. All right. So this was season 2, episode 17, entitled Missing While Manipulated. It aired yesterday evening at God knows what hour. I am sorry to say that we do have the ratings back already, and they are not good. I'm a little bit worried that it's like too little too late now. Do you know what I mean? Like we're finally amping it up, and now I'm a little bit worried that it's like, well, it's too late. You already lost your viewers. Okay. All right. Sorry, folks. Just getting this all pulled up. Okay. Okay. So Durga says, yes, Kara. I was like, finally, these last 2 episodes have been great. About time. The cases are better as
Mhm.
well. India says, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm glad they're up in the ante this last half of the season. Durga says, wasn't Zaddy the director? Chef's kiss. Yes, he was the director. He was. Durga, that shot where Margaret ran out of the room and he pointed the gun at her, I was like, Mark. I'm not surprised the show was slow AF and they kept breaking. I see, but it's like, were they breaking or was the break happening to encourage cancellation? Because you know how sometimes they do that? That's my concern. Is like, was it to encourage cancellation? Which I don't love, but that is some of the stuff that happens. Okay. All right. So, Missing While Manipulated, directed by Mark Paul Gosselaar, Zaddy, according to others. It was written by Charlie Engelhard, and the ratings were 1.94, which is a considerable drop considering we had 2.40 the week before. 1.94 is not the lowest it's been by 1 point. So the lowest it's been so far is 1.93 with turn off my ringer. With Missing While Gabby Mosley, which was episode 6 of this season. So it was on like an upward trend, and it was kind of like it was like on an upward trend, then it was dipping back down, and then it was kind of up again. And now it's going down almost to the lowest that it has been. Now I'm hoping that the kind of information that we got at the end of the episode will lead to people coming back and wanting to watch, but I'm not really sure. Again, there are multiple issues with this show that we have mentioned many, many, many times. It is airing very late. There have been numerous breaks that have been very sudden, and it'll just be like a week here or there, which has been really unusual. I'm sure it's trying to line up with Law and Order SVU, but my concern is that Law and Order SVU is a much darker show. It airs previous to this, and Found is still kind of skirting. I don't know if they're skirting looking for a primetime slot or not. I don't know if that's what it is. Like if they're keeping it where it is so that they can get a better time slot, but like I don't think it's worth the trade-off. In my opinion. It becomes too formulaic. I don't know. Durga says next week looks so good too. India said, read a couple new articles from MPG and Danielle. They are going to show the dynamic of Lena and Hugh being the paternal figure and being protective of her, but raising her as a mini him. Next week looks tense, but juicy AF. Yeah. No, Durga said that makes sense why she would resent Gabby. India says, I need this show to be renewed, but I also agreed season 3 needs to be darker and grittier. They have to go darker. They do. I mean, they do. They're not gaining the audience that they're looking for. You're airing so late at night, guys. You could be doing so much more.
You're gonna have to kill these people in the subplot.
Like either the subplot or a main character has to go.
Or a main character. Yeah, no,
one or the other. It's like you got to do something.
Killing Christian was not enough.
Well, and again, we don't even know if that's true. We never saw him again. Everything happened off screen. Nothing happened on screen, which is like that kind of, I don't know. That made it lame too, because it's like of course you can't show like intense gore, but like I'm considering like old episodes of Law and Order SVU and like what we used to see. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
know I don't watch it anymore because God knows that show's been on forever. But I guarantee that there are still like wild, crazy things happening.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
And I just have Walking Dead brain, and anyone that watches that show knows if you didn't see it on screen, it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the Hollywood trope, right? I mean, we have a strong injection of it because of watching not only Walking Dead but also Fear the Walking Dead, which
Yeah.
was like we're gonna kill off a character in season 4, and she will suddenly come back 4 seasons later in the worst story arc of all time. There, I said it. Anyway, okay, okay, so so the episode starts off with, I'm sorry, it didn't start off with this episode, but I finally got it right, and I just want you to hear it. That's it. That's all it is. Uh, okay, so the episode starts off with Margaret feeling very frantic. Jamie didn't call her back. Nobody knows where he went. Blah 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 blah. They just found his cigarette butts outside of Gabby's house, and so anyway, Gabby and Don are looking for evidence as to how Peter got down in the basement cell
Mhm.
at Gabby's house, which is like, that's totally normal you sell in your house. And you should not at all be worried about people finding that. You didn't think to get rid of that when you were going to be investigated by the police? You didn't think this is a giant red flag that I have this in my house? Um, and he says, I still think Christian is alive, but Lena and him and Hugh were definitely fighting, or Hugh and Lena were tussling, and she just blamed it on Christian. Can you imagine what Kelly Williams would do with a Jamie dying story arc? Chills, says Durga. I know. Kelly Williams really is she was a great director, honestly.
Mhm.
Her episode was awesome. Mark Paul's, obviously this episode was good. So he's a great director as well. It was just that the subplot was like, okay. See, I didn't think this subplot was as strong as the week prior. Now, the other stuff that was happening in the episode made it worth it.
Mhm.
To me. This is just my opinion on it. The subplot was interesting. Like, I'm glad it was like a new story. It was interesting. But
And done in
again,
a
there was
different
no
way.
teeth. There were no teeth. I
Yeah.
knew that Gabby was going to be okay. You're not going to kill off your main character. So there's no actual threat.
I mean, they definitely had us with us because me and Richie watched it together. With like hearing that click as Margaret was walking out,
Mm.
and then just the whole Jamie part kind of had me too.
That part was interesting. Okay, so they Don says he staked out the motel. Jamie never showed up. Gabby, if Jamie is the one who put Peter in your basement, you've got a real problem. The cigarette butts prove that he was there, but nothing else does. And we need more proof. And then they're like, what's the holdup with the DNA results? Don says, I used my fast track favor last time, but I'll apply some pressure to my FBI buddy and see if he can't reprioritize things again to push it through. Anyway, then Margaret wants to know if they can just like send out a unit. I don't remember. The DNA thing might have been Trent that said that. I can't remember. Anyway. Surprise. Jamie's not missing. He's not missing at all. He went to see Sir. That's what that was. Anyway. Margaret goes to see Sir. She knows that Jamie was there. She wants to know, what did he say? He's like, you're coming unhinged, aren't you? And she's like, if you have any humanity left in you at all, you will tell me what you and Jamie talked about. And it's kind of like a little weird conversation about like, I don't know. He's kind of trying to give pressure so that she would like sell out Gabby.
Bring Gabrielle to see me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. He's like saying that good and bad can coexist, like in a person, which is true, but I don't know. It's just like a weird conversation, but Anyway, he does give us a little bit of information later in the episode, but Sir is essentially useless in this conversation. Okay, yes, hold on. Durga says that the first time I thought, oh, this might be Jamie. Yeah, I know. This was actually the first time that I was like, well, maybe it is Jamie. India says, I still think he was going to go after Trent at the end of the season, but also he getting more violent and crashing out. And Durga says, he took my eyes. He took my eyes. Now what? It was a great line. I will not lie to you. The way it was delivered was a little cheesy. Like, it made me laugh. And not just a laugh, like a guffaw. I was like, ah! It was ridiculous.
One occasion during this
It was
episode.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, so what ends up happening is I don't know. It's okay. Like Heather and Trent, like Trent's like, just stop representing Sir. We can still make this work. No, you can't. You can't, though. I promise you can't. Anyway, so Margaret and Gabby are talking. And they're talking about, like, Margaret's going to, like, divulge that she went to talk to Sir. And then all of a sudden, a big man is in the office. Like, out of nowhere. And he's like, Gabby Mosley? And I was like, whoa, where did that guy come from? Because he's a big dude. He's a big dude.
Oh my God. You just made my brain flash to way later in the episode.
It just surprised me. That's all. It just shocked me a little. So he was like, remember me? And it's like, okay, who are you? And she does remember him instantaneously because this is being retconned in. Montgomery Clark. And she's like, I thought you were in prison. And he's like, it's Monty. Sure, dude. Yeah, it's whatever you want. It's whatever you want. And so he was in prison for 3 years. And he's like, because that's where you put me after you stole my son. And it's like, whoa, bro, you all right? You all right? Anyway, Gabby had quote unquote, saved a kid named Jalen. And Montgomery Clark was imprisoned as a direct result. Spoiler alert, that's not at all the real story. What happened? In fact, everyone was caring more about themselves than the child. Is really what this came down to. Anyway, he's got a gun. And he's like, you're going to help me get my kid back. And everyone's like, okay. Durga says, so cheesy, I hollered. Heather just wants someone to choose her over Gabby just once. Margaret made Heather fast AF. She had just been looking at Sir. She had those features fresh in her mind. I knew when they crossed paths we were going to get something. It was immediate. India says, I was like, Heather, Lena can go the hell away. And imagine when Trent finds out that Heather is Lena, Hugh's sister, the sister of the man he hates so much. I don't know. I feel like he might be like, I banged your sister. To Sir. This is very much like something I feel like Trent would do. But anyway. Obviously Zeke can see that there's a man with a gun in the office and he's on video. And the dude is like, I'm gonna kill them if you call the police. And so Zeke like turns off the computer because Gabby tells him to. And Gabby really just tries to convince him to put the gun down. He will not put the gun down. He says that he's going to keep it on them, and that they need to figure out where his son is. So what we find out is that Gabby saved this kid because he had second-degree burns all over his body. I believe it was second degree. Frankie, please lay down. I can't with you right now. Second-degree burns all over his body, and so she thought that Montgomery had done it, so did the police. So that is what happened is he actually went to jail for 3 years or prison or whatever. It's not what happened. And I'm going to just sum it up because there's really not much to this case. Like when push comes to shove, it's okay because like the rest of the storytelling was really great. There's not much to this case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they find out that Montgomery's brother has been talking to Jalen's mom, Dahlia, his ex-wife, Montgomery's ex-wife. And Dahlia kind of like Dahlia just had postpartum depression is really what it was. Postpartum depression in some women can turn into full-blown psychosis
Mm-hmm.
if left untreated. It can also turn into long-term regular depression if left untreated. There are a lot of things that can happen with that. So that's what happened to Dahlia. She was not okay. She left a boiling pot of water on the stove and walked away. Her child knocked it onto himself. That is why he got the burns. Everyone assumed that Montgomery did it. Why Montgomery didn't just tell someone is beyond me. That's what I didn't understand about this. I was like, I understand you're trying to protect your wife, but what about your kid?
And it's not even like he was protecting her from prison because they wouldn't have thrown her in prison for that.
No, they would have sent her to a hospital where she could
Mm-hmm.
have gotten help. I don't know. It was weird. So,
But I will say they are members of the Black community.
say
And
it, girl. I'm not allowed to say it. You say it. I am not allowed to have this opinion, but you say it.
being put in any type of mental hospital, mental treatment plan, anything like that is like
Yeah.
heavily frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So I'm wondering if that's where his head was at.
mm-hmm.
Just like, and I will say, like, societally, this has been an issue for a long time, right? And not just in the Black community, in a lot of communities. It continues to be an issue in some communities of color. I'm gonna be careful what I say because I have the palest skin in the world, so I really cannot say much about this. But, uh, but, but it continues to be an issue, and it's. I think some of it has to do with pride,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like just the concept of self pride. I get that, and this is still very much a piece of stigma for especially men.
Oh yeah,
Really, in any community, it's like
yeah.
they just don't. They don't want to. Um, and it has a lot to do with pride, I think, and with like the feeling like you're inadequate or incapable of taking care of yourself, and then also as a reflection, taking care of your family. So I wonder if that had something to do with it as well for Monty. If there was some of that stigma there, like this was going to reflect poorly on him, also. Like he couldn't take care of his family, and I'm sure he felt that
Mm-hmm.
way. But anyway, this was like that part. I'm glad they're bringing light to that. This, but the thing is that they didn't really bring light to it unless you know
Right.
that.
And even something as simple as he would have to be a snitch to tell them
Hmm.
what actually happened. And he would be snitching as a Black man on his wife.
Yeah,
That's
like
deeply
just
how,
a little line,
right.
could have like easily corrected and like shown like, and that's the thing. Like that was the whole point of this, right? Like this, the whole point of the show is like showing this disparaging difference between like how the media handles different cases. There says it's so taboo, which is ridiculous. It
Mm-hmm.
is. It is. Um, so which is something this is actually something I brought up on Squawking Dead because we're covering Dark Winds. It's on an episode that hasn't aired yet. But I did talk about a recent case where a native girl had gone missing. And she was found across several miles of highway, dismembered. And I do not believe that they've caught who has done it yet. Again, another girl, Kaylani, cannot remember her last name, was by her own father recently. This just happened. These are young girls. And I'm just gonna say this, like, this happens with people of color, but I will also say that this does happen with girls that do not fit the stereotype that the media would
Hmm.
like to push. And my one example that I always bring up when we talk about this is Elizabeth Smart. Because Elizabeth Smart was a pretty blonde girl who went missing to a well-to-do family. Same thing with JonBenet Ramsey.
Hmm.
Those are the kind of cases that get eyes on them. It is unfortunate. There are people out there, there are girls out there, there are boys out there. That's another thing. Never hear about missing boys.
Yeah.
We hear a lot about the girls. We never hear about the boys. There are missing kids out there, and the media is just choosing not to push this agenda because they're pushing other agendas. And I want you to just be aware of that, that probably the best source of news for you in your area is going to be your local newspaper. 100%. It is
Hmm.
not. The local news is a little bit better, but like just think of the fluff pieces that they offer you. Okay? That's what they're deeming newsworthy. You think there's not other things happening in your area that are newsworthy? There are. They don't need to post about a squirrel that can jet ski or whatever.
Hmm.
Like they just don't. They just don't. There are other things to talk about. Um and unfortunately that doesn't make money. That doesn't make money. So your best source of news is always your local newspaper. Those journalists are thirsty for actual stories. And so that's your best place to go for like real news. And unfortunately, that's not what we're fed. And it's certainly not what we're fed on social media. But I will say this, TikTok has given me way more access to stories than I
Hmm.
probably would ever have received otherwise. I would not have known about this native girl that had gone missing. I'm so sorry that I forgot her name. Again, I read like a whole article about it in our Dark Winds coverage. And so if you're interested in hearing about that, then I just encourage you to listen to those episodes. But Kaylani, um, who was just found, um, this like just happened this week. I was only given that story on TikTok because people were posting about it.
Hmm.
And the place it was coming from was the local news. That didn't catch anyone's attention on national news.
I'm sure you heard about the twins who were
I did.
missing. Yeah.
I did.
I was surprised that that had gotten so much coverage because they were black male.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I just this show is supposed to bring light to some of these like inequities like in media, and it's like sometimes it does, but it's sometimes it doesn't. And
Hmm.
this was one of the areas where it could have done better. I'm saying if that's your whole thing, that's what you're saying you're doing, then just do it. You know what I mean? Like don't shy away from it then just do it. But anyway. Um so cuz the people who already know that, but the people who don't didn't get that from this.
Hmm.
So I don't know, even if they had done the disclaimer thing at the end, if they had done like the
Right.
if you're in need of counseling or whatever, like or thinking of self-harm. You know how they do that sometimes when it's like a
Hmm.
could have done that. Even that would have been something, you know?
I think they tried to give us something the way this episode ended, like not the happily ever after that we usually get, but I'm just like,
Mhm. I know. I know. To some degree, I'm like, is this a little bit of virtue signaling, or are we just trying to like act like we're doing the thing, but we're not really doing the thing all that well? Which it might not even be the writer's intention. It might be, like the network getting
yeah,
involved.
I was actually thinking like because it's a new show, because the main character is a black female, certain things they don't want them to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Um anyway, I will say it's done more than other shows have, so I'll give it that. I think SVU is probably really paved the way for a lot of this.
Hmm.
Honestly, they've been telling these stories for years. For years and years and years. But let's just move on. I digress. Let me just move on. Okay, India says, oh my god, the twin stories was just so sad, made me so frustrated. I
Mhm.
love that the show is showing some more insight, but I feel the duration of the episodes could be longer. It's that concept of like, could a storyline go on more than one episode?
Right.
Like, could it, yeah. I don't know. It could be serialized a little bit more, I think. Okay, so that pretty much sums up what happens with Jalen. They find Jalen and Dahlia. Dahlia is still not like super great, but like better. Jalen is safe. She does want Monty back in Jalen's life, and so she was kind of like trying to set everything up for that. She like tried to get the protection order removed, stuff like that. But as someone who's I've never tried to get a protection order removed. Okay. That that bad boy stayed in place for 4 years. Honestly, at the time I was like, maybe I should have asked for 10, even though I didn't. Talked about that before. Uh but I know that here's the thing. When you take out a restraining order against someone, or a protection order is what they're usually referred to as a PO or a TPO if
Mhm.
it's temporary, because there is one put into place immediately upon your request. When you get a TPO or a PO, the thing is that you, the person who requested it, are just as much in this contract as the person you filed it against.
Mhm.
So you can't call on someone and then want to talk to the love of your life an hour later. Okay? If you're calling a protection order on him, he's probably not the one, babe. That's what I want to start with. He's not. Okay? If you go back and talk to him, you are breaking the law
Mhm.
just as much as that other person is. I shouldn't say he. This is just coming from my experience. Whoever you're filing it against, whoever you are, if it's a woman filing against a man filing against a woman, man, woman, whatever. Okay, here's the thing. You can then not talk to that person either. Okay, you talk to them and the police find out, you're arrested because you are breaking the protection order, because the protection order works both ways, babe.
Mhm.
Please don't. So that's the thing. She couldn't even contact Monty, so she didn't break the order. She couldn't even contact him to tell him. They were talking through Monty's brother. That was how they were like getting information back and forth. Anyway, she tried to get it revoked, but with there being second-degree burns and CPS had been involved, it ain't happening. Because now the state is involved. County, city, depends on where you are. But God only knows what's happening at that point. Because at that point, once they get their hands in,
Mhm.
they serve a purpose, but they are also extremely frustrating thing to deal with. Okay. They serve a purpose. Sometimes they don't serve that purpose. Sometimes they serve that purpose a little bit too much. It's kind of all over the place. Anyway, hi Jermaine. Jermaine is here. Hi Jermaine. So she tries to get it removed, doesn't work. They're still upholding it. So she can't get Monty like back into her life, which is what she wants. Jalen is being watched by Dahlia's friend, which is great because Dahlia is like still not super okay. They end up finding her. Everybody's safe. Everybody's fine. Monty and her like reconcile. There's still a TPO, so like that, or a PO, so like that's not super great, but there's a police officer that's there when it happens, so I guess it's fine. Not really. It's still
Right.
breaking the law.
Mhm.
That was Hollywood for you. so, um, so because the Trent definitely would not have let them be in the same room. That even though we know that it's like a bogus, you still wouldn't let it happen because
Mhm.
you don't. Anyway, it's fine. We're moving on. Dolly's going to go to the hospital for a mental health stay. She's going to check in. It's only going to be a couple weeks because that's how long it would have been from the get, probably, had we dealt with this correctly in the beginning, but we didn't. Monty, however, and this was an interesting turn of events, I thought. I was actually really happy with this because the lack of upholding the law in the show is wild. It's wild. Like, Gabby literally kidnapped a man and nothing happened. I'm not saying the man he's bad. He's a bad guy. Still broke the law. So there's that. But Monty says when he went in, with the gun, he knew that he was going to have to serve time for that, and he was willing to because it was worth it to him to make sure that his son was safe.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Love that example of a black father. So good. So good. I loved that. 2, it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, good on you. Because, Gabby's like, no, I'm not pressing charges. Neither is Margaret. Blah, blah. And he's like, no, I broke the law. I should go back in. And I was like, aim it. Thank you.
Gabrielle, that is not how the law works. They can choose to file charges.
It is literally, it doesn't work that way. The ADA can determine if they want to file against you.
Yeah.
And they can. I know. Sorry, the DA and the ADA. That was ridiculous. I was like, just because you're not pressing charges doesn't mean it didn't happen. He held you up with a gun. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. Jermaine wants to know if we're excited to see the Dead City season 2. I actually, so later this month, it's public because I was able to find it today. Later this month, April 30th, is a screening at the Paley Center in New York City for Dead City, and I'm pretty sure it's a screening of the first episode. And when I tell you that I was so heavily considering being like, Dave, are we going? Am I staying at your house for a couple days? But it's the middle of the week. Yeah. It's like a Wednesday.
I definitely sent the text to Noir and Nerdy like, hey, you see this?
Anyone? You have to be a member to get the tickets, which is really what the issue is like the membership is expensive. I know somebody with a membership, so that wouldn't be an issue for me, but I don't know, dude. It's like I'm gonna take off 2 days of work minimum for that. I'm literally out of work right now. Like, what, I'm gonna go back and be like, see ya. I'm going to New York to watch an episode of a Walking Dead spinoff that people don't really care about anymore. I care heavily, but not everybody else does. Anyway,
I kind of don't.
This isn't your favorite spinoff. It's not my favorite spinoff either. Actually, yeah.
But I would have gone to see Lauren.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That is the thing. Would love that. Also, it's just fun. I don't know. It's fun. You're like in a room with other people who care about it too. It's like something about that is just really fun. And it's on a big screen. And we don't get that anymore for The Walking Dead.
Right. I've only ever seen it on a big screen one time.
Oh, it's fun. It's very, very fun. Okay, anyway. Moving on. Okay. So back to the episode. So that's how we feel about this. We were mainly excited for the premiere. If we got to go in person. I will watch it. I'll watch every minute of it. I have to get through I have to get through the rest of Dark Winds, and I also have to get through The Last of Us premiere. So I've got like other things going on right now. Because we'll be covering The Last of Us season 2 as well.
I forgot about The Last of Us.
It's coming back in like 10 days.
I've gone in a completely different direction. Like, Severance and From have me in a chokehold that I just can't get out of.
Okay. That's okay. That's your thing. It's all right. Don't worry about it. You've moved on. You've moved on. I wasn't sure how the second season of Last of Us was gonna go because I know about the video game.
Yeah, I'm not so excited for
I
that
know,
either.
I know. So
Mm.
I'm like, I am not the video game expert this season. Thank God for us, because I'm like, I don't want to play season 2, dude. I don't want to do it. I
Oh,
don't
but
want to play Last of Us.
Jermaine is obsessed with Lauren, so of course he's probably excited.
Oh, super excited. Durga says, I'm excited for the prison break. I feel there probably isn't a better person to get trapped in a prison with than you, obsessive asexual kidnapper. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the other stuff that happens, okay? So like everybody's good, cool. Monty's gonna go back to jail. Dahlia is gonna go to a hospital. Jalen is safe and staying with Dahlia's best friend. Everybody is cool at the end of this. Okay. The other stuff that happens, let me not bury the lead. The big deal is that it does come out that Heather is actually Lena, which we all said. I just want to say it felt so good to be right.
Yeah.
It felt so good. They were trying so hard to gaslight us into thinking that wasn't the truth. And it was. It was.
And I don't know why it shocked me so bad. I was like super dramatic, like, oh.
Well, they said it, and I was like, yes, I knew it. That's why I yelled. I knew it because I did know it. And we were right. And I just feel like so good that we're right because we are making wild theories over here. Just
Vintage.
crazy theories. But this one was right. And I'm thankful for that. So screw you people who didn't have any faith in us. We knew what we were talking about. I know it sounded crazy because it is crazy. But this is the writing we deserve. Okay.
Absolutely.
Durga says Monty is a fool. Go home, man. Get out of here, Durga. The man's doing the right thing. Okay. So Heather is Lena. Okay. Heather's Lena. And Margaret's the one who figured it out.
And maybe Jamie is Jamie?
Maybe Jamie's Jamie. I'm not really willing to admit that yet.
Me either, because my brain is trying to come up with all kinds of things.
I don't know. It was something about the way Sir was like, I don't know. He's pulling a string somehow. It seems too convenient.
I just feel like Lena had him or something.
I know. I can't let it go. I haven't let it go yet. I haven't let it go.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% convinced that he's not related to Sir. Anyway. Okay. So, Dawn, not really anything this episode. Zeke, same. Lacey, same. Like nothing. Gabby, same, actually. Like really nothing. The only thing that happened is Margaret and Jamie. There's some interesting information. I want to find the spot where we get the information. Okay. We get some little flashbacks for Margaret about like the fact that she isn't at home. She's like staying up all night at the train station. She's like sleeping during the day. Daryl, the horrible Daryl, takes the girls and leaves Margaret.
I'm sorry, but as she deserved.
Margaret?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get it. Like I totally get it. Get it. But you also still have two kids who are there who do need you.
Yeah.
And Daryl's a dick.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like that you're making me agree with him.
Right.
It's like, please stop, because he sucks. Oh my God, Durga. Okay. India said, I knew from the moment Danielle was announced she was a relative of Hughes, and then when she first appeared, I was like, she is Lena. I just couldn't get off. I can't read it. I'm so sorry. It went too far down. Durga says Gabby was looking at Lena's license like she wanted to rip her head off. Heather, you're in danger, girl. And he says, I'm thinking maybe Heather captured him because at that time she was grown. But when Hugh captured Gabby, Lena was at least 17. My thing is, how did she go to college while being Hugh's accomplice? I don't know. Maybe he was helping pay for it. I would assume. Durga says, not I wish the next episode was called Missing While Leather. Missing While Leather Daddies. India says, get her Gabby. The fact she was the one that hit Gabby in the head in the gym and dragging Hughes tall behind out of Trent's house, girl, is crazy. She's crazy strong, is what she is. She's insanely strong. Okay. So, yeah. So Daryl's like, you won't fight for our daughters for me. And she doesn't. And stop making me agree with Daryl. Stop it. I don't like it. He sucks. Okay. Let me keep with what money though? He has no job and no money. But babe, he's a criminal. He's got to keep in them fine suits somehow. I don't know how.
I do want to know, like, I mean, teachers don't make a lot of money, so why does he seem to have
I
a
don't
bunch?
know. I don't know if it's just like a Hollywood thing, like we're dressing you in nice clothing, so and like people won't know, but like I do know. Like that clearly looks like that's not from Walmart.
Right.
So like you obviously have some money. It's not from Walmart or Target. So like where are you buying it? Like where are you getting Kmart isn't a thing anymore. But I'm pretty sure it also didn't come from there. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm so sorry. Let me just try to find the spot where we get the actual information because it's like really buried in here.
Okay, while she's looking for that, so earlier I was cackling because Bridget said something and it just kind of made my. Oh, Bridget said there's a large man
Oh, yeah,
in the
yeah.
room. And my brain immediately flashed to Gabby and the guy in the middle of a conversation. And then a white blur crosses the screen. And Gabby abruptly stops what she's saying. And you realized that the man is gone. He's not standing there anymore.
Not a white blur. Not a white blur. Okay. Oh my God. I'm glad she said it and I didn't. I ain't trying to get canceled up in here. Oh my Lord. Okay. All right. So, okay. So here we go. Gabby, I know, this is Margaret, that Heather is Sir's sister, Lena. Gabby's like, are you sure? I know it's crazy, but all the familial traits are there. Okay. That means it wasn't Christian. Heather's been Sir's accomplice all along. How long has she been there? How could we not have known? What are you going to do? I don't know. But one way or another, we're taking Heather down. And when we do, it needs to be for good, which sounded like
Right?
pew pew. You're sleeping with the fishes. I was like, whoa. You just almost got arrested for committing other heinous crime. You want to slow up here? I am saying Trent Sr. is giving him some monthly inheritance to keep him away from his family. Girl, when I say that you are probably right. He's got it out for Trent Sr. There is no other reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
He had to have been a sperm donor. Lena has been planned since season 1. What? No way. India just said that. That's crazy.
Well, I have definitely.
They did mention Lena in season 1 when they did the flashback to Sir's childhood. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
It's okay. I just don't feel like Sir does anything without a plan, and
Hmm.
that would make sense if he planned on going to prison the whole time because he knew his sister could get him out.
Yeah. Yes. Probably true. Okay. So Margaret goes back to see Sir. And of course, Sir's like, "Where's Gabrielle?" And Margaret's like, "Off living her life without you. I'm not bringing her here. You, no." Um, he's like, "Yeah, but now you won't get the answers that you want." And she's like, "No, that's where you're wrong. I don't need to know what you and Jamie talked about. He's home. He loves me. I have a second chance with him. And after everything that I went through today, that's enough. It's time to lay the past to rest." But is it though? Because then Sir says, "How very forgiving of you. Surely you didn't come down here this late with the storm approaching just to gloat."
With the storm approaching, sent me. I
I
swear.
know. It's like, what? Okay. I love that you're calling her Leather. I can't. um, India says yes, and her being late in the game was intentional, and that Danielle didn't know she was Lena, but Mark Paul Gosselaar told her by accident on her first day. Oh no, Mark Paul, you monster. Durga says that means Leather knows exactly who Trent is. Either he is part of the plan, or she just has the same weird obsession with Gabby, just from the femme perspective.
Well, no, he's definitely part of the plan because the
I felt
way
like he was.
the way Sir keeps coming at his daddy.
I know. Durga says as soon as Margaret told Sir she was on to him, he looked worried for a second. I think he knows she knows who Leather is.
Mm-hmm.
He knew when she walked out and when Leather came in. Leather is just sending me. Okay. Uh, okay, um so Margaret's like, "I came to make sure that you hear me when I say that I'm onto you." That's when he looked scared. That
Mm-hmm.
was like the moment when he was like, "Mm." It's like it's very little. It's like a very little
Mm-hmm.
look. Um, you see, you always think you're one step ahead of everyone, but you're wrong because I'm me and you know what my superpower is. I hate that she called it her superpower. Something about that really grossed me out. Like I was like, "Ugh, stop." I don't know why. I was just really grossed out by that. I was like, "Oh, you're a grown woman. Stop." Stop. Don't say superpower. It's gross. Anyway, she's like, "And from now on, it'll be trained on you. And I'll make sure that you never hurt Gabby again. Don't worry, Margaret. The clouds will part eventually. Just give it a minute." Where did you hear that? She wants to know. From Jamie. Apparently, it was something his mother always said to him. I assumed he meant you, but perhaps. No, he didn't.
He's
He
such an
knew Margaret
ass.
didn't. He knew Margaret didn't say that. He knew Margaret didn't say that. Okay, so I wanted to go back to the part in the script with the woman that comes to visit Margaret because I'm worried that that line was said then. But I have to see. So the
Oh.
flashback where the girlfriend comes to visit her, something about these like women who just showed up at the bus station, like something about this is like off-putting to me. So I just want to see if that line was mentioned at all in that um, dialogue.
So while you look for that, um, I want to flesh a couple things out.
Okay.
So I'm sure everyone had the same reaction as Don seeing Famey react to knowing Margaret was in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my part of me is still saying he's a really good actor.
Well, I think it's fair to say that he could have connected with her a little bit.
Right,
I
exactly.
mean, she is showing him love. So I think it would be fair, especially if he's like been in an unhealthy relationship, to have
Hmm.
someone like love him that way probably feels good. So even if this is like part of the plan, I think it's still possible that it could not be him. But
So they want us to believe, which I mean, in my head is not an impossibility, that he was kidnapped, treated wonderfully, and told that his mother didn't want him. and turned against his family basically, and that's why we're getting weird vibes from him. But like, if that's the case, why randomly pop up on her?
Hmm.
And how long have you been watching her that you just randomly popped up on her while she was standing outside the bus station?
It was weird. It was weird. I don't. It seems too convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Durga had a lot to say here, so hold on. Let me read these. It's so subtle, but he knows that she knows. Superpower is Jamie's peak. Ick. Thank you. It is gross. I loved this scene, and that's who took Jamie. It wasn't. It wasn't. I rewatched, so she went back and looked. It's not in. It's not in the lines. I
Okay.
had to see if she said it too. I feel like I don't know who's who. I feel like Carrie. I feel like Carrie's the woman that we met in the previous episode, and that Rena is the woman that came to visit her in this episode. If that's correct, I feel like Carrie is the one who took him.
I did feel like not someone from this episode, but someone from an episode prior. I'm
I
like,
always thought it would.
oh,
I had felt like it was Francine, the woman who was clearly cheating with Daryl, but
mhm.
I don't know if that's actually the case because what does a person love to do after they've committed a crime? This is especially truthful for Serial, but I just wanted to state this. They inject themselves into the investigation.
Oh yeah, they do.
It's very common. If you need an example of it, there's a dude who broke into a girl's apartment and essayed and then her and proceeded to do an interview with the news that made him extreme. Have you seen this? The guy with the crazy curly hair? Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. He like wasn't even friends with her, but he told the news that he was really good friends with her. It's wild. His name
That's not
is Stephen McDaniel, and this is the Lauren Giddings case. If you want a prime example of someone inserting themselves into the investigation, this is it, my friend. Because this kid did the deed. And do you know what he does? He joins the search party. 100% Durga. He found out live on the news that they'd found her body. And he has a very unusual reaction. It's very interesting if you want to watch like a true crime case. That's a really interesting to watch. Very disturbing case. That guy was messed up, as they often are. But anyway, Don went okay. I gotta pull up YouTube because the comments are flying. I don't know, chat. I don't know how people do it when they have thousands of people. They just don't read comments. Then, I guess, right? How could you?
Yeah, they
How
don't.
could you? They can't.
I actually get mad because they just don't.
Yeah,
I mean, they
no, they
can't.
don't. No, they can't. How could you expect them to? That's the thing. When I see it, I'm like, good lord. I'm sure they once did. You know, they did a while ago when they were smaller, a smaller YouTuber. Okay. All right. Don went right back to his military training. He was about to bring the full force of the Marines on Monty.
Mhm.
I think Carrie has him too, or the woman with the keys, Francine. The guy who found out they found her on TV. Yep. India said Danielle described that. Lena has more backbone than Hugh, and she decides what she wants to do with or without her brother's opinion, but also said that she has a different love for Hugh. Ooh, I don't love that. Durga says, I remember that. You can tell as soon as he finds out the police found her, it was just guilt. It is wild, the change up in the interview. He has to like take a step away. It's crazy. Watch it if you haven't, because it's
Wait, what's the
super
name
interesting.
again?
Stephen Giddings.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Lauren Giddings. Stephen McDaniel. Stephen McDaniel. He's got wild hair too. He's just like kind of a weird looking dude. Anyway, prime example of someone injecting themselves into the investigation, which is why I think Carrie shows up too conveniently at the bus station, and she suddenly wants to help, and then she like befriends Margaret. I don't know. I'm thinking, and I don't know. I could look. You know what? I'll look.
I just feel like in order for someone to truly convince a child who had a loving mother who was there with him every day, like to convince
That they
him
would
that,
have to have some sort of relationship before then.
yes, yep,
You would think. Yeah, I know. Which is why I felt like it was Francine at first, but now I don't really know. Okay, I'm looking to see if I can find. No.
I'm even wondering, is it possible that somehow Leather was in Margaret's life and she hasn't realized it yet?
Maybe. She was a lot younger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. India says, I think it is either Heather or Francine captured and raised Jamie for the past 13 years. And for some reason, I just feel like Hugh has some play in too. I don't know. It's hard to say. And they're giving us like 0. They're giving us 0 on this.
The moment
India.
Hugh said he could help find Jamie, I was like, that's because he's
mm,
known this whole time where he
I
is.
know. He's got something to do with it, obviously. Also, you haven't fixed anything. You're the worst fixer. India. Next week's episode is going to be nuts. And why in the hell did Gabby go visit him? And now she is stuck in a cell with him during a storm. Like, why or how? What the hell, India? You just gave me so much information. I didn't know any of that. Here,
Yeah.
I don't watch the previews. I like to go in blind. Durga says, "Oh, maybe she was the babysitter."
Oh.
True. Okay, I wanted to see because if there's a conversation with, we'll just call her Carrie. I don't know which one. There's a conversation. What the hell is going on? Okay, cool.
This
My screen,
episode just made me want to go
my screen
rewatch
froze.
any flashback episode from this season.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm going back now to look and see. Carrie offers to help. I'm wondering if she said the thing
Mm-hmm.
about like whatever it just was that I literally just read and I already forgot. I'll know it when I hear it. So I'm going back to see if maybe Carrie had said it because that would be a wild thing if she had. They might not have given us that obvious of a connection either, though. I feel like my husband fell asleep on the sofa and I can hear him snoring. Sorry, I'm just looking.
And then, like, her son didn't scream when he disappeared. There wasn't any kind of weird struggle that you
Mm-hmm.
would have from a stranger trying to snatch somebody's
No,
kid.
but his mom was ignoring him, and it could have been as easy as someone being like playing with him or giving him candy, or I mean, really, he was young,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Hmm. I don't remember if it was last episode or the episode before.
Oh yeah, which I just because I don't know if everyone was here for that episode before, but I had said that if the storyline continued and we find out that this really is Jamie and that
Mm-hmm.
Margaret has believed this whole time that it was Jamie, that I was going to be extremely pissed off at her for keeping it from her daughters and her ex-husband.
For real.
And the longer we go, the more I feel like she truly believes it's Jamie, and it's making me really angry because she used to be my favorite character.
Mm-hmm. It would piss me off if she kept it from her family.
Like, this season is like almost over, and she still hasn't told anyone.
Mm-hmm. Kathy. Nope. That was the lady at the station that she accused. Not her. There's like a woman that shows up and offers to help her hand out flyers.
Oh, yeah, I do
And
remember
I
that.
can't find it. I feel like maybe it was at the end of the episode. Sorry, y'all. I'm scrolling through transcripts to try to find it. Hold on.
And how's her daughter gonna feel? Because
I know.
like she's been like hanging out and spending time with her daughter
I
without
know.
ever saying
She's been
your brother
avoiding
is
her.
safe. Well, I thought so. She never did go.
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. I
Mm-mm.
thought that she would have.
No, she didn't. And she
Okay.
doesn't want to lie to her.
I mean, no matter how much she avoids her, she's still lying to her. She's
That's
still
what I'm
keep it
saying.
like it's still just gonna look awful.
Okay, yeah, here's the part where she calls Taylor. Peter's safe. They find Jamie's cigarettes. It wasn't that episode. Maybe it was the episode before. I don't know. Okay. Oh, hello. All right. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I've been missing a lot of comments. Give me a second. Okay. All right, let me silence this. Okay. All right, here we go. India says, because I saw another clip where Hugh and Margaret talked, or he was talking about Jamie finding true love, that someone who deserved him, like, I know Hugh knows something. Durga says, she went because why are you sending your sister to my job? Oh, okay. I was like, what? I'm sorry, my brain couldn't wrap around that just then. Durga said, I would have probably gone to see Hugh when I found out his sister had been stalking me. Like, what kind of gang stalking is this? India says, I'm betting Heather Lena was involved in some way because since she is the accomplice and Hugh has this huge plan to get Gabby, there has to be so many different pieces on the game. And Durga says, yes, Margaret is wild for keeping this a secret. And then Maxine Mink's apologist, hello there. I think Margaret's husband is involved in Jamie's disappearance in some indirect way, which is why in the flashbacks he seems so aloof about it. Yes, I agree. India says, I can see why Hugh was pissed. Trent slept with Lena, Hugh's sister, and also Gabby, the one he is trying to get affection and care from. And then Durga says, at Maxine Mink's apologies, yes, we think he has been having an affair with Francine and she took him. One option. I don't know. It's like, it's either Francine or it's like the woman from the bus station who randomly shows up. It's like Carrie or Rena, maybe. Or it's Lena / Heather / Leather, whatever you want to call her. We just don't know. We just frankly do not know.
It's so weird because the way it happens makes it 1000% seem like a crime of opportunity. But if it is any of these people, it was not a crime of opportunity.
I don't think it was a crime of opportunity. It seems like it's not. It seems like it was because often, like in situations like this, I don't know why. It's like we're always led to think it's a crime of opportunity, I guess because of like random child abductions that get so much media. But a lot of the time it is someone that they know. You know that from true crime cases. You know that it's
Okay.
like it's often like the neighbor a couple doors down or whatever, and the kid's been locked in the basement the whole time.
The whole time, yeah.
Or like that guy who was just found after being locked up by his stepmother for 20 years. Have
Yeah.
you heard about that? Have you seen the pictures
Yes.
from the house? The house is wild. It made me want to clean my house. Because I was like, oh, that's horrible. He was locked in a room for 20 years since he was a kid. He's 30 something now.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't even let him go to the bathroom. He had a straw that was like through a hole in the window to pee. And they gave him 2 bottles of water a day and 2 sandwiches or something. It is wild. Durga, he was pissed because Trent got the cop father while he got his trash mother. Gabby and Leather just heightened this resentment. Maxine Ming's apologist. I had that theory too, that her ex-husband had an affair that resulted in their son being taken. Whoo, I like it. I like it. I mean, I don't like it, but I also like it.
It could have been a friend that was around and seeing her ignoring her kid,
Mm-hmm. Why do I
feeling that
keep
she
I
didn't
keep
deserve.
opening the window and then closing it for some reason? For the information I was trying to pull up. Okay. Durga says, "Yep, I think he's been raising Jamie with her. She was the babysitter, like his own little family, which is what he wanted. He tried that already with Gabrielle and Lacey, but her name was
So then
Bella."
he would have been living like almost 3 lives, because you also can't let your daughters know that you know where your missing son is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Okay, so we have the details on the next 2 episodes again. There is a little bit of weirdness with the airing schedule. I think it has to do with the fact that Easter is coming up. I think that's why. So our next episode we're getting is on the 10th. So it's next week Thursday, which is normal. But then the following episode is airing on the 14th, which is Monday. I could just have incorrect information, but that is the information I have right now.
Do we have sports starting? That's weird.
It is weird. Maybe? I don't know. I don't follow sports
Me either.
anymore. I used to. Anyway, so episode 18, which will air next week, Thursday, the 10th, is Missing While Heather.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Directed by David McWhirter and written by David Feige. And both of them have had a hand in other episodes. David McWhirter directed episode 11 of season 2, which is entitled Missing While Misunderstood. Let's see. He also directed episode 12 of season 1, Missing While Eccentric. And then David Feige, I thought he had written on one other episode. He did. He wrote on episode 9 of season 2, entitled Missing While Targeted. The episode after that is entitled Missing While a Casualty and is directed by Jess McCallan.
Missing while leather.
Missing While Leather.
Sorry.
Jess McCallan is an actress. Best known for her roles as Jocelyn Carver in the series Mistresses and Ava Sharp in the CW Legends of Tomorrow.
I was gonna say that name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, it's a DC, the CW DC Universe franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what has she done? So she's acted and she's done a little bit of directing. So I'll give you kind of all of it, a little bit of all of it. Her filmography, is kind of some smaller movies, nothing I really recognize. For TV shows, she's kind of a that girl. She's done just like 1 episode of a lot of shows, or like a 2 episode stint. She played Tammy in Shameless. I don't know which. I assume the American version. Yep. Cassie in Justified. Rachel in The Protector. Which is a Lifetime police procedural. This picture is horrible. This can't be. In one of the pictures, it looks like she's Heather. But it can't wait. Hold on, no. Wait. We might have a connection here. Okay. Sorry, I'm piecing this together literally as we do this. Nope. No. Maybe? Hold on. Okay. I'm like having to find so much information. Hold on. Danielle, did you also do this weird show on Lifetime? No, she didn't. Just whoever starred in The Protector really looks a lot like Danielle. I'm not gonna lie. But you know, white blonde girls, what you gonna do? Okay. Uh they all gotta look alike, you know what I mean? All right. Okay, so she also was Hillary in Grey's Anatomy in one episode. She was in an episode of NCIS Los Angeles. Let's see. She was also in one episode of The Company You Keep. She's been in quite a lot of like TV stuff. And then she's directed 2 episodes of Legends of Tomorrow.
Nice.
4 episodes of All American, which is an American sports drama. That's on the CW as well. So it looks like she was able to kind of crack into the directing on the CW. She then also directed an episode of All Rise, which was on CBS, and later on the Oprah Winfrey Network. She did also, there is a connection. She also directed 2 episodes of All American Homecoming, which is an American sports television series created by Okoro Carroll, the creator of Found. So that's kind of an interesting tie-in. And then obviously the episode of Found. So just wanted to see what was going on there. And then written by Troy Kelly, which this show does have ties with David E. Kelly and Bill Kelly, who I don't know this, but I feel like they're brothers, maybe. And so maybe Troy Kelly is in the Kelly family. I don't know. Could be a little bit of nepotism. Not really sure. Not really sure. All right.
Bill Kelly, don't make me tag you on Twitter.
Bill Kelly, are you David Kelly's brother? The only reason I say that is because I watched something else. Oh, I watched Mr. Mercedes, which is a David E. Kelly, Stephen King thing. And Bill Kelly was in it. Anyway, I've really got to pee, and we've been on for an hour and a half, so I have to go. I'm going to pee my pants otherwise. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. You're perfect. You're perfect little angel babies. We will see you next week. We love you guys so much. Thank you, Durga. Thank you, Maxine Minx Apologist. We love that you're here. Thank you, India. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everyone who stopped by. We love you so much. And we hope to see you same time, same place next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this